Lewis, please advance the colors. I now declare the 5th Assembly of Missouri Girls State convened. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by the Speaker Pro Tempore, Sophia Crimmins. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The national anthem will be led by Eliana Giroux. Will the Chief of Staff please retire the color bearers? Please be seated. I would now like to introduce to the stage your Superintendent, Maddie Stewart, for her farewell address.
Good evening, Girls State. It's crazy to me that we have been here for only a week, because what a week it has been. In just 7 days, you've created flourishing communities and lifelong friendships. You've seized positions of leadership and led with elegance, strength, and kindness. Many of you have experienced failure, maybe more than once, but in 7 days, you have cultivated the determination to pick yourself up and try again. When I think about your delegate class as a whole, many words come to my mind: energy, joy, courage, but one word that I think encapsulates the impact you've had on this program is action. You are not women that will take the back seat when it comes to change. You see the criticisms presented in society and take it upon yourselves to make a difference. Whether you're working behind the scenes or speaking on the mic, each one of you has shown that you have the bravery to advocate for the matters that impact you and your fellow delegates. You don't just see problems, but you seek solutions. You have inspired all of us around you and given us hope for the future. Serving as your superintendent of Highway Patrol was truly a life-changing experience. Your daily smiles, conversation, and eagerness to do good were my reason to wake up early each morning. I find that many times I didn't even feel qualified to stand before you on stage, because you've proved time and time again that any one of you could lead Missouri Girls State in my position. Thank you for allowing me to grow with you and invest in your life as much as you have added to mine. Thank you, Trooper Jordan, Trooper Olivia, and Trooper Kyle, for trusting me to work alongside you during this session. Thank you for the stories you told and the golf cart rides that you took me and Cece on. I'm so grateful that I was able to be mentored by you, as I will continue to look up to your strength, honor, and compassionate hearts all throughout my life. It is a blessing to not only call you staffers, but friends. Thank you to former superintendents, Miss Leah and Miss Reagan, for helping me navigate this appointment. And a very special thank you to all of my 2023 Girl State Troopers for your service this week to your fellow citizens. It has been a joy to get to know you and to work with you. To the beautiful, bubbly, and light of a woman, Governor Cece, words cannot describe the special place in my heart that you hold. To be your counterpart this week was to gain a best friend. You encouraged me on long days, and you laughed with me for hours on end. You inspired me to be like you in the way that you care for people with your whole self, and how you don't back down from what you believe in. It's hard for me to leave this camp knowing that we're both going to college, 20 hours in the opposite direction, because I will miss you so much, but I know that the friendship we've established here at Girl State will stand the test of time. I'm so excited to see where you go in the future, and I will always be cheering you on. Shout out to our sweet mates, Miss Alex and Miss Sydney, for keeping us giggling and on time all week. Last but never least, thank you, Miss McKay, Miss Maya, President Louise, every teacher, every staff member, and the American Legion Auxiliary for creating a program where young women can discover their role in society and acquire the tools and resources to become amazing leaders when they return home. You told us we only needed to give 50% when you gave 110 every hour of the day, even when times were difficult. You have done so much for this program, and it was an honor to serve under your leadership. To close, I'd like to quote a verse from Esther 4:14. It reads, "Perhaps you were made to be queen for such a time as this. This is your moment, as this was your state here at MGS, and this is your world. Go change it." Thank you for letting me be your ALA Missouri Girls State Superintendent of Highway Patrol. Now, it's my pleasure and honor to present your retiring governor, Madam Cecilia Burton.
Never cried in front of so many people before. Good morning, Missouri. Oh, it's not morning. Good afternoon, Missouri Girls State. How do you guys feel? Me personally, I'm a little sad, super tired, and so proud of all of you. This week, I've watched you find your path here at ALA Missouri Girls State. I've had the privilege to watch you perform at the talent show, whether you were singing, dancing, playing an instrument, dangling from the ceiling on silks, or doing an hilarious reenactment of an old story. Each and every one of you amazed me. I've had the privilege to watch as you campaigned for office, ran courts, and held interviews, as you've led school boards and run your own businesses. I've watched as you've found lifelong friends and gained confidence in yourself. I've seen it all and more broadcasted on KMGS TV, your only news source. When I first spoke on Sunday, I asked you to do two things. I asked you to fail, and I asked you to listen. As far as failing, in the nicest way possible, you all surpassed my expectations. And I'm so proud you did. You failed because you tried, because you took risks and pushed yourself. You embraced uncomfortable, stressful situations, and guess what? You survived. More than that, you got back up. You learned from your loss and you moved on. There's nothing easy about failing. It's hard and exhausting and almost always heartbreaking. But I'm so proud that each of you pushed yourself to find success on the other side. Next, I asked you to listen, and you did. You listened with the intent to understand, but more than that, you listened with the intent to make change. It's one thing to understand another's perspective, an entirely more difficult feat to reach consensus, to start conversations exchanging ideas, and to end with real, concrete actions and goals. I've also had the honor to listen to you this week, to hear your needs and give you a platform to make change. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for starting the conversation, thank you for caring enough to ask, and thank you for stepping up and paving the way to make a better Missouri Girls State. Earlier this week, someone asked me if I had any advice for them as a leader, and I was a little surprised. I've always considered a leader someone with no doubts, someone who knows what to do and when, who never second guesses, apologizes, or asks for permission. I saw leaders as people who were calm, withdrawn, and professional, not people like me. If you've seen me this week, I'm almost never calm. I try my best at professionality, but sometimes I can't hold in my laughter, and I'm almost always in doubt as to what I should be doing. I didn't feel like a leader going into this. I just felt like another sort of scared girl in a fun sash. All of you are going to leave here and enter leadership positions at home. If you're anything like me, you won't feel like a leader. You won't feel like you're doing it right, but you are. There's no one way to lead. Be humble, be kind, listen and care for those around you, and you'll be an amazing leader. Speaking of amazing leaders, I'd like to thank all the leaders who've helped me this week. Thank you to the American Legion Auxiliary and ALA Department of Missouri President, Luis Welch, for making Girls State possible. Thank you, Director McKay, Miss Maya, Miss Shauna, for answering my countless questions and making sure Girls State runs smoothly. Thank you to Miss Hattie for helping me through stage fright, Miss Patty for all the advice, and Miss Jackie for sponsoring me last year and making all of this possible in the first place. Thank you, Trooper Jordan and Trooper Olivia, for the countless unnecessary but invaluable golf cart rides. Next, I've said it a billion times this week, but again, thank you, Miss Abby and Miss Eliza, for supporting me when I was just a failed fire chief. I love you. And thank you to my superintendent and lifelong friend, Maddie Stewart. It goes without saying, I love you. Thank you all for making this a memorable and remarkable week. You're all incredible, and I can't wait to see the amazing work you do in the future. Signing off, former Governor Cecilia Barton.
I want to thank Governor Barton for instilling the values of service and leadership to our citizens this week. We appreciate your willingness to empower our citizens to be progressive, kind, and strong. As a token of our appreciation, we want to present you with a retired flag flown at the Missouri State Capitol to thank you for our service to the program. Madam President Louise, will you be willing to please present the flag to our retiring governor?
I'd like to say thank you for being here, and I know you did a good job. I know you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
she thought she was done.
It is my pleasure to introduce President Pro Tem of the Senate, Isabella Olson, and Speaker of the House, Bridget Burns.
Hello, Missouri Girls State. We'd like to welcome you one more time to the ALA Missouri Girls State 2023 Inauguration Ceremony.
We would like to acknowledge the amazing leadership of both our outgoing governor, Cecilia Barton, and our Highway Patrol Superintendent, Maddie Stewart.
Both of these leaders have been supportive, friendly, and phenomenal role models to the delegates of this year's session.
From day one, Governor Cecilia Barton had supported and encouraged every single one of us to believe in ourselves. She told us to get out there, run for office, and that failure is not something to be afraid of. She even convinced me on move-in day to go for Speaker of the House. Even if you haven't gotten a chance to speak with CC, you've seen her around campus, always smiling. That pretty much sums her up. Thank you so much, Governor Cecilia Barton, for all that you do for ALA Missouri Girls State.
Superintendent Maddie Stewart has been encouraging, kind, and a servant leader not only for the Highway Patrol, but everyone here at ALA MGS. She has also undoubtedly made everyone here feel that they belong, even if they didn't have the honor of meeting her. Thank you, Maddie, for being the superintendent that we could all rely on, but foremost, an incredible human being.
These two leaders and the entire staff of ALA Missouri Girls State have fostered growth and cultivated a community for us. And I think that we can all agree that by this year's session, we have made friends and memories that will last a lifetime.
Thank you to Cecilia Barton, Maddie Stewart, and the ALA MGS staff. Thank you again, Governor Cecilia Barton and Superintendent Madison Stewart. Missouri Girls State, let us show them one more time our extreme gratitude and appreciation. The joint session of the 2023 Missouri Girls State General Assembly is called to order. The invocation will be given by the chaplain of the House. Please rise.
Dear Heavenly Father, we ask thy blessing on this meeting. May the leaders who will be inaugurated here tonight be guided by thy infinite wisdom. All this we ask in thy name. Amen.
Please be seated. The next order of business is to establish a quorum of both houses. Will the Speaker of the House please make the motion?
Will the House Clerk please establish if quorum is present?
Will the members of the Missouri Girls State General Assembly House Representatives please rise to establish quorum? Quorum is present. Please be seated.
Will the Senate Pro Tem please make the motion?
Will members of the Missouri Girls State General Assembly Senate please stand to establish a quorum? A quorum is present. Please be seated. This joint session of the Missouri Girls State General Assembly has convened to notify and inaugurate the newly elected officials of Missouri Girls State. Will the honorary colonels retire to wait on the newly elected officials? Will the honorary colonels please bring forward the newly elected officials with the exception of the governor-elect? Will the citizens of Clark City please form the honor guard? Will the honorary colonels retire to bring forward the newly elected governor? Will the citizens of Clark City please form the honor guard? Will the honorary colonels please bring forward the governor-elect, Claire Guac? Will the honorary colonels and Clark City Honor Guard please retire? I would now like to introduce Judge Robin Ransom, who will also inaugurate our newly elected officials. Judge Robin Ransom was born in July 1967 in the city of St. Louis, state of Missouri. She graduated from Rosati Kane High School. She completed her undergraduate degree at Douglas College, Rutgers University in New Brunswick, New Jersey, receiving her Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science and Sociology. Judge Ransom attended and graduated from the University of Missouri-Columbia School of Law. She has served as an assistant public defender and as an assistant prosecuting attorney at St. Louis County. In October of 1996, she began working in the Family Court Juvenile Division of the 21st Judicial Circuit, St. Louis County, as a staff attorney. Her judicial career began in 2002 when she was appointed as a Family Court Commissioner for the 22nd Judicial Circuit on December 27, 2002. In that role, she presided over juvenile delinquency and care and protection cases termination of parental rights matters, guardianships, and adoptions. She served in that capacity until September 11, 2008, when she was appointed by Governor Matt Blunt as Circuit Judge in the City of St. Louis, the 22nd Judicial Court. In January of 2016, she began serving as the administrative judge of the Family Court, overseeing all facets of the court's operations, both in juvenile and domestic divisions. In September of 2016, she was unanimously elected by her peers to serve in the capacity of Assistant Presiding Judge of the 22nd Judicial Circuit for the calendar years of 2017 and 2018. Then, in September of 2018, she was again unanimously elected by her peers to serve as the presiding judge of the 22nd Judicial Circuit for the calendar years of 2019 and 2020. After just a few weeks in the role of presiding judge, Judge Ransom was appointed by Governor Mike Parson on January 9, 2019 to the Court of Appeals, Eastern District. On May 24, 2021, Governor Parson appointed Judge Ransom to her current position as judge of the Supreme Court for the state of Missouri. Judge Ransom is a member of the Missouri Bar and the Bar Association of Metropolitan St. Louis. Judge Ransom is also a frequent presenter to school groups and organizations interested in juvenile laws and juvenile justice. Judge Ransom was retained in the role of circuit judge in both 2010 and 2016. She was retained as a member of the Missouri Court of Appeals Eastern District in 2020. She was retained by voters at the November 2022 general election for a 12-year term ending December 31st, 2034. Please welcome Judge Robin Ransom.
Thank you, everyone, and good evening. It's an honor to be back. I was here last year, and I was told that people actually enjoyed what I said last time. So I'm very honored that I've been asked to reappear. Many of you don't know me personally, and probably many of you don't know me at all. The narrative that exists about me is that I don't attend events or socialize much. That narrative is true. I even had a colleague suggest a few years ago that I just don't like people. That statement is not true. I have a favorite phrase that I use often. I like everybody because I will not spend enough time with people to find out things about them that I don't like. It's not that I don't like people, but I am very selective of who I spend time with and who I choose to let into my life. Now, I know that sounds a bit uppity, and I don't mean it to be, but I think that I am the best person that I know in this world, and I won't spend time with others who distract me from my goal, which is to be the best person that I can be at all times. I was in a judicial interview once, and the person asked me if I cared about their opinion about me. Now, you don't have to be a psych major or go to Psych 101 to know that the correct answer should have been yes, I do care. But I'm never correct for the sake of being correct. And I said, no, honestly, I really don't care what you think about me. I even thought to myself in the interview, did I really just say, no, I don't care? And I did. But when I walk into a room, I remind myself that I am the best person that I know, and that I'm clicking on all cylinders at all times. And I feel that every time someone meets me or spends time with me, it is an honor for them to be in my presence. Are these things said out of cockiness? No. Out of confidence? Absolutely. We as women, you as young women, should always feel that we are fantastic as we are, without worrying about what we were, who we will be, or who we want to become. We should enjoy and embrace today, because we will never have these moments again. And we should only change because we want to, not because we feel as if we have to fit someone else's requirements or criteria. Sometimes we let others who tell us no convince us that those no's matter, or that the no's mean never. But how about we give no's or disappointments the definition of not now, but soon? Change those mental doubts of probably won'ts to probably wills, and be the best versions of yourselves at all times, and own the moment. Be top flight and on point in your own world. I listened to your governor and your superintendent, and they talked about failure. Think back to a time, and it could have been this week, that you failed at something. When someone rejected your ideas and wrote them off. It's happened to me numerous times, and I've wanted to throw in the towel, but I didn't. I kept pushing through. During those times, you have to change your mindset and tell yourself you're not the only person that's ever gone through this journey. In fact, rarely does success come on the first try. For many, success comes only after failure. To change my mindset, I did some research on influential people who failed to succeed, and the list is long, but one name stood out, and it made me know that I'm certainly in good company when it comes to failing at something. Walt Disney was fired from the Kansas City Star, and his editor actually told him that he lacked imagination. This is Walt Disney, and look at what he did in his lifetime. Decide who you want to be, what you want to do, and where you want to go, and work towards fulfilling those dreams for you. Not because society says you should, but because you want to. Whenever I'm asked to speak, I think, oh my God, what am I going to possibly say? But I have to say today, and at this event, 2 times now, I am truly privileged to spend time with you and give you just some tidbit about what I think in your development as leaders. I have 3 pieces of advice. First, there is no rush in life. Second, find and define your own narrative. And lastly, remember that life's journey is not just about you. So on that first piece, no rush in life, honestly, this is not where I thought I'd be at this point in my life. As a young person, I wasn't lazy, but I was a slug. I didn't do anything. I was the youngest, and I was always told that my only job in life was to go to school. That's what I did. I never went to work, never considered work, and I figured my parents would be here forever to take care of me. Some people grow up saying they want to be a lawyer, doctor, teacher. That was not me. I didn't have a clue, and I only went to law school just to kill some time until I could figure it out. Law school, I still have nightmares about it. That's the honest truth. Hated every minute of it. That's the honest truth. And I didn't find anything interesting about it at all. But I stuck it out because I'm not a quitter. I have OCD to a little bit, and so I have to finish everything. But once I graduated, I sort of found my niche in working with delinquent children and helping families navigate some difficult decisions. And working in family court actually made me think that a gig as an attorney would be an okay life for me. I started my first job in August of 1992. You all weren't even thought of back then. And almost 30 years later, and I still marvel to think that I've made it to the Supreme Court, because that really was never my dream. And I think about Drake, and I'm not a big Drake fan, but I do like the song, I started from the bottom, and now I'm here. I remember in law law school and when graduating, everybody around me seemed to have it figured out, but me. People were going to the west and to the east, and they were going to go private, or they were going to go public. But what we learned from the old Aesop fable involving the tortoise and the hare is that it's not how fast you start, it's how you finish. So again, there's no rush to get where you're going. Take your time and enjoy the ride. My second piece of advice is about defining your own narrative. When I walk into a room, it is very clear that I am a Black female. And I mention that because throughout almost every interview I've had within the last 4 to 5 years, that seems to have been a shock to people. I mean, I think I can see it. I think you all can see it. But for some reason, everybody else pretended that they couldn't see it. But that's all you see on the outside. And there's definitely more to me on the inside. I've always been taught to stand proud, be stoic, and be unapologetic of my heritage and background. But to always be proud of who I am and not let other people define who I am or determine my destiny. I don't worry about who likes me or who dislikes me because I'm truly focused on me and what I have to do to move forward in this life. Sometimes we worry too much about what other people think. Sometimes we're so busy watching everybody else, either trying to be more like them or criticizing them or being envious of them. But you need to remember that your life is your own personal race. Don't spend any time talking or gossiping about other people or their choices. Focus on yourself. I was just telling my 18-year-old this. She's headed off to college also in the fall. I'll be an empty nester. I'm not sad yet. But, you know, there was some snippiness in the new freshman chat, and I had to remind her to just stay focused. As women, we need to be encouraging of one another. And even when you feel as if you're falling behind, make sure that you're measuring yourself based on your own pace and not measuring yourself by someone else's pace or someone else's standards. But that's much easier said than done. Between the internet, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, we're constantly being shown that we could be better in all sorts of ways. Prettier, thinner, better dressed, just more exciting overall. You will learn, and I'm sure you've learned a lot this week, that there are things that you absolutely cannot control, such as another person's perceptions or reactions to you. But stay true to the plans that you've set for yourself and know that your narrative will be forever changing, just as life is. Figure out what matters. On June 18th of 2023, 5 individuals set off in a submersible to tour the wreckage of the Titanic. I believe 2 of them were millionaires. In any event, no one knew that day would end in a catastrophic implosion and the death of all 5. Yesterday, the United States Supreme Court ended affirmative action. Today, the United States Supreme Court overruled President Biden's efforts to forgive billions in student loan debt. And regardless of which side of those arguments you're on, those are monumental decisions from the Supreme Court. Gas prices in 2000, $1.50 a gallon. And for those of you who are drivers, as my daughters pointed out to me, oh my God, Mom, gas is so expensive. Well, when you're paying for it, it is. $3.49 a gallon. We have the price of eggs, milk, chicken wings, all have exorbitant fee increases. And then there's the dreaded issue we've heard about for months, crime, and crime. But many kids today are busy being a Taylor Swift Swiftie, and I like Taylor Swift. We're worrying about Kim and Kanye, what the gender is of Courtney and Travis's baby, that SZA, and I know who SZA is rumored to be dating Travis Scott. Now, if I'm dropping news for you all, I'm just learning this stuff too. And that Beyonce and the Beehive are swarming all over Europe. There are kids who grab random advice from TikTok, and I'm sure some of you know the subreddit site, Am I the A-hole? Where you describe a situation and you get random comments from social media as to whether you or the other party in the situation is the A-hole. If you've been to a carnival, you've seen the Tilt-A-Whirl ride, where you slide left, right, up and down, all over the place in unexpected fashion. That's really what life is. It bounces you all over and it throws you lots of curves. But with blinders on and focusing on your own race, you'll be like Wonder Woman and the magic bracelets, where she just blocks and defends everything. So don't get caught up in social media. Don't get caught up in the Kardashians. Focus on dictating your life and how fast or slow you want to take things, because life is a daily grind. Some days will far outshine others, but if you keep your head down and you stay focused, you'll succeed. And you should be the only one defining what success means for you. As Max Ehrman said, we all have a right to be here, and your lives are unfolding just as they should. Lastly, I want to remind you that your life and how you choose to live it really is not just about you. When my kids were little, I would always say that little nasty people just grow into big nasty people. If they misbehaved or they were being mean, I would tell them that little asses just develop into big asses. Too many times we forget that we don't live in bubbles, and what we do, what we say, how we behave has a rippling effect in everyone else's world. Sometimes we don't even know the negative impact and destruction we can have by our own poor judgment and behavior. So remember that your life is all about you and not all about you, both at the same time. You owe it to yourselves and others at all times to be the best versions of yourselves. If I asked everybody in the room today, raise your hand if you think you're a good person. Let me see your hands. Okay, is that half the room? I can't tell. And then keep your hands up if you think it's easy to be a good person. There you go. Being a good person takes a ton of effort every minute of every day, because you're constantly thinking about other people and how what you do impacts other people. Try going through an entire day where you don't say something mean to or about someone, or where you're not worried about how much you can get before really considering somebody else. All of us go through these struggles. This is called being human. But we have to be mindful of the fact that what we do, what we say, and how we live will affect other people, even when we don't know it. It's really important as leaders of tomorrow, and I know they've told you all this week, to hold yourselves in the best way possible and focus on your own achievements while also striving to improve things and other people around you. Don't misunderstand. It's okay to celebrate yourself. It's okay to celebrate achievements and accolades and splurge sometimes just for you. But true leadership and true leaders do not live in vacuums. You have to have people to lead, and true leaders care about the service aspect of leadership. We see all too often that the higher some individuals climb on the ladder, they tend to forget their purpose and how they got there. Lately, we've been inundated with stories of leaders being led by greed, personal glory, and fame. Leadership requires some self-sacrifice, because it's not just your success that you're concerned with. A true leader works to make those around them better, and that definitely involves self-sacrifice. Sometimes I've asked myself, why is so-and-so my responsibility? And then again, I stop and reflect. We are all each other's responsibility, and true leaders multitask, focusing both on themselves and the well-beings of others. There are major hurdles and debates that you all as future leaders will discuss, and tough decisions will have to be made. But the training that you've received this week at State has put you on the right path towards taking your communities by storm and being the powerful women that they know can make a difference. Thank you all in advance for everything that I know you will accomplish. Some of you may be before me, arguing at the Supreme Court, and I certainly look forward to that. Thank you for having me, and I certainly hope that there is something I've said to spur you all on to be the best versions of yourselves and the best leaders that you can be. Have a great evening and a great holiday. Thank you. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce fellow justices of the Supreme Court. Our Chief Justice is Grace Peach Wrighton. Adrian. We have Judge Cassandra Plummer from Boone. Michaela Sensenig from Benton. Sydney Lockridge from Drake. And Jana Rawashka from Stephen. Lex Hill from Drake. And India Paris Lewis. Congratulations on being selected for the Supreme Court. Will all other officials except the governor-elect please rise? Raise your right hands and take the oath. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly pledge that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of Missouri, and the Constitution of Missouri Girls State, and will faithfully discharge my duties of my office at Missouri Girls State according to the best of my ability. I pledge this upon my honor. Congratulations.
It is a great pleasure of mine to announce each official as she receives her ribbon. State Auditor McKelvey McDaniel. Attorney General Allison Zhang. State Treasurer Grace Edney. Secretary of State Katie Bernanke. And Lieutenant Governor Caroline Leonard. Congratulations to these elected officials.
Will Governor-elect Claire Guak please step forward? Would you raise your right hand and be sworn and repeat after me? I do solemnly pledge that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
That I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of Missouri,
the Constitution of Missouri,
and the Constitution of Missouri Girls State,
and the Constitution of Missouri Girls State,
and will faithfully discharge my duties
and will faithfully discharge my duties
of my office at Missouri Girls State
of my office at Missouri Girls State
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
I pledge upon this honor.
I pledge upon this honor.
Congratulations.
It is of great pleasure to officially introduce for the first time Governor Claire Guak.
All right. Hello, MGS. As many of you know, my name is Claire Guak, or just Guak, or walk with Guak, or some verb added onto Guak. Regardless of what you call me, I want to congratulate all of you because you made it! Woo! I would be lying if I said it wasn't an exhausting week. From state fair to long classes to late night whistle stops, we've all gotten a little bit of everything. All in all, I hope what you've learned this week is what I've learned this week. The inner growth I've experienced has been tremendous. Whether that was learning to fight sleepiness or how to connect with the people around me. Shout out to Clark City, by the way. I love all of you. I hope you look upon yourselves with pride for successfully being challenged and overcoming. I hope you know there is a future version of yourself who is proud of that you were strong enough to, a future version of yourself that is proud of you despite the challenge. I'm really glad I got to meet all of you, and I'm really happy to know you will all do great things. I'd like to read a quote that I think describes some of the friendships I think we've made, and also because I like quotes. For the longest time, I saw myself as a bad person. You don't know how much it meant when you looked at me and could see the good. I hope you all come to know how special you are. In my speech, I mentioned how we are all avocados being ripened. I think it's safe to say you are all ripe avocados now, and we'll make the best avocado toast. Sorry, another avocado joke. It was mandatory. Whether or not you ran and failed, or even succeeded, at the end of the day, we've all created something special. A girls' state unlike any other girls' state that has ever came before or will come after. That is something really special. All in all, I hope you're proud of who you are today. It takes strength to be here. And you wouldn't be here if you weren't strong enough, or smart enough, or amazing enough. Girls State Missouri, we did it! Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you to Mrs. McKay and Mrs. Maya and all the staff and teachers, of course. And thank you for ALA for Girls State. Guak, sitting down now. Okay. What?
Your name of your person for superintendent?
I guess I'm not sitting down. Never mind. Right. I guess now I should announce my superintendent. It was a really tough choice. I think I spent maybe like 30 minutes deliberating it, and I loved all of you, but I would like to announce my superintendent as Hadley. Make your way to the stage.
This is the gift that you'll present here.
Okay, I get to go. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll go. I'm gonna pass through here. All right, and for my first official duty, I would like to thank Judge Ransom for coming tonight and installing all of us. We appreciate your support of Missouri Girls State. Please accept this gift as a thank you from us. Okay, Lieutenant Governor Caroline Leonard, as President of the Senate, will you please come forward?
Madam Governor, the Missouri Girls State General Assembly brings forth business for your consideration. I ask that you recognize the Speaker of the House and the Senate President Pro Tem. We would like to wait to present our information to the governor. Do I hear a motion to adjourn the joint session? Yes. Do I hear a second? Hearing a motion to adjourn and a second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Will the Senate chaplain please give the closing prayer? Please rise.
Let us pray. Grant us, O Lord, as we go forth from this meeting, may we have the will and strength to assist our newly elected officials to fulfill the obligation of the oaths taken here tonight. We ask thy blessing upon our officials throughout this coming year. Amen.
Will the color guard please come forward to retire the colors? Please be seated. Parents, family, friends, and special guests tuning online tonight, thank you so much for your support as we prepared to come to Missouri Girls State and for your encouragement throughout this week. Will the House and Senate doorkeepers please come forward to the front of the stage? I now declare this joint session of the 2023 Missouri Girls State General Assembly dissolved.
You could process orderly to your nearest exit.